Peace, family. Peace, reflections. So right now, I was actually waiting for this ice cream truck to like shut down and whatever, leave and shit. But I'm just gonna start and make this video cause it's daylight and I don't want that shit to like go night anymore, honestly, and I need to save some time anyways. So I wanna first make this video, and before we go on with the rest of the video, I'm first making this video to help people understand a few things before going on with the mathematical process with this. In order to understand the true meanings behind the 396 and why 9 is God, you must know mathematics, okay? But it's fairly easy. So first things, one, you gotta understand the main functions of mathematics. Basically, it's not, most people will say is the basic of mathematics, but in reality, it's not. It's actually the necessary functions of all mathematics. And actually, this is the main principle. They're the principles of mathematics. They're the most fundamental functions of mathematics. So that is multiplication, division, subtraction, and addition. Those are the only main functions you could learn, and if you can master these, you could actually be a good mathematician. Like literally, you could be math, anything. You'll know the universe. So that's one. Two, we gotta understand the universe. We gotta know that in the creation of life, in the creation of everything in existence around, it follows certain laws. And we all know that mathematics is the language of the universe, okay? So basically, everything is numbers, and we're following certain laws. And there's a law that the universe is following when the creation of life. And this law, they call it the powers of two binary system. Basically meaning doubling. It's just doubles. So, for example, in real life, we see this in the creation of life. So if we look at it microscopically, we have a cell. When in the creation of life, when a male sperm and a female egg, they combine together and make a baby. In the first it'll start by one cell, and from that one cell, it starts doubling. It'll become 2 cells, and from 2 cells, it'll become 4. 4 becomes 8 cells. 8 cells becomes 16. From 16, 32 to 64, 64 to 128, and so on. This is the law that the universe is following. Same thing with the another example. Let me see. In the music scales, when you're having the hertz and frequencies, depending on what frequency one measures it, but there's a 440 hertz. From 440, it goes to 880. From 880, it goes to 1760. Yes, hertz. It doubles up. It's following the law of the universe. That's just the music. That's the music scale. That no one can change that. Another example will be in computer science. Computers. All the codings and all the computer stuff, whatever. If it's following by ones and zeros, 1 0 0 zeros and ones. All those ones and zeros is following a sequence. This sequence that they're following is the same law that the universe has it set. It's called the binary, the powers of two binary system. It's the same thing. It follows 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. That's the same sequence that even computer science is following. All the computer coding and all that, it even follows that sequence. Another example will be in, would be in a nuclear reaction. Nuclear reaction, when we see in real life, we see this shit. There's this substance particle called neutrino. Neutrino liberates to 2. It follows the same sequence. It liberates to 2, it liberates to 4, it liberates to 6. I'm sorry, not 6. It liberates to 8. So yeah, even we can even see this sequence in the DNA. Like when we study the codons, is a group of three, and going to 64 codons. That's literally the same sequence it's following. So that's one thing we gotta understand. In the creation of life of the universe, it follows laws, and this one law that in the creation of life is following a sequence, and that is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. You know, that sequence. So yeah, we gotta understand that. That's 2. So this is the third one. Another thing we gotta understand is that in life, in life of mathematics, all the real numbers, the only real numbers that exist in the universe is 1 through 9. Those are the only numbers. Everything else on top of 9 is just 2 digits, and then it becomes 3 digits and 4 digits. No, in life we're reducing everything to one single digit. Why? Here's the real reason why we're reducing to a single digit. Because we're trying to find the underlying patterns of all patterns in existence. We see there's different types of patterns. There's the Fibonacci code pattern. There's the sacred geometry pattern. There's also the golden ratio pattern. There's so many patterns that is following, but there's actually a fundamental source, a root reality pattern that we're following, and this is what I'm going on the next as you go on with this video. But yeah, the real numbers is only 1 through 9, and each number represents its own. It has its own fundamental quality. It has its own condition. Each of those numbers, each individual number represents its own entity, its own, I don't know, it's a real number. But yeah, those are the real numbers of the universe. So we must remember that. We must remember that the main 4 functions, that everything in life is following laws, a sequence, and the only real numbers in the universe is 1 through 9. Okay, that's just simple to understand. Everything else, I'll explain more as I go on with the video and the teachings. Anyways, I love my self-reflections. Alright, peace family. So right here, right now, I'm gonna show you the patterns and what is the underlying, the most root reality pattern that exists within the universe. And this pattern describes pretty much everything from microscopic realm to the 3rd dimensional to the high cosmic space, up there, everywhere. This applies to everything. So, and the only real numbers is 1 through 9. So I'm gonna zoom this in now, closer to the board. Sorry, there's a neighbor out there, so for the noise. Anyways, I really want to do this already, so I'm doing it now, and because I'm focusing on other things. So we talked about the real numbers, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Those 9 numbers are the only real numbers in the universe. Why? You already know, because everything else is just 2 digits, 3 digits, 4 digits, etc. So, and we're trying to reduce everything into 1 digit because that's how life is anyways. We're trying to reach to 1. We're trying to know thyself. We're trying to be one with nature. We're trying to be one with the whole universe. So if we're truly talking about nature and we're truly wanting to understand God and the whole universe, you know, everybody agrees that mathematics is the language of the universe. Mathematics is the language of God. So Why aren't we speaking the language of God? This is the type of thing that I really want people to realize. And it's time. There's a perfect equation already, thanks to a great scientist. He's not a scientist named Marco Rodin. He's a great he discovered something new, and he created, in my opinion, he created a coordinate system where you can map out the whole universe, the whole thing, from the spirals to everything. Anyways, let me go on with this. So with the video, because you want to understand what 3, 6, and 9 is. All right, so first of all, when we understood that in the creation of life, we're following that law, the powers of 2 binary system. So when we have one cell, we start with 1, right? And we double it. So that will be 2 cells. I just want to make sure if you guys can see that. If you guys can see, oh damn. Let me see if I can turn on the light. Yeah, I think that might be better. Thanks, my bad, man, damn. All right, so for 1 cell, it turns to 2 cells, because that's the law of the universe, a creation of life. It doubles, remember. Wait, what? It doubles. That's the law. All right, so let's go on. Let's take this 2 and double it again. That will be 4. Let's take this, double it, plus 4, that will be 8. 8 plus 8 will equal 16. Now we take 16 top here, plus 16, that will equal 32. We take it down here, 32 plus, you get the point, right? You guys get the point? That would be 64. Let's go on. 64 plus 64 equals 128. 128 equals to, that'll be 256, I believe. And 256 plus 256 equals 512. Okay, so there's a pattern going on over here. Okay. Okay, so you guys get the point. From 1 cell starts, 2 cells, 4 cells, 8, 16, 4, 64. So this is what we're looking at here, based on vortex-based mathematics. We're reducing everything to 1 single digit. So we have 2, we have 4, we have 8, 16. That will equal to 7. Now, why does 16 equals to 7? Because 1 plus 6 equals 7. That's simple. All right. Well, we're trying to reduce the whole number to 1 digit, so we just add them up. 1 plus 6 equals 7. So right here, 32 in reality, 16 plus 16 equals 32, but 32 in reality equals 5. You see it? 3 plus 2 equals 5. Now, 64, the next number will be 10, right? But in reality, 10 equals 1. We just keep reducing the number to a single digit number. We do the same here. 3, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. This will equal to 2. Why is 128 equals 2? Because 1 plus 2 equals 3. 1 plus 2 plus 8. Okay, that will be 3 plus 8 equals 11. Wait a minute, what? Yeah, it equals to, yeah, it's 11 plus 2. That will equal to 2. Damn. Sorry, I just Lost my mind. Anyways, that will be 2, this will be 4, and this will be 8. Okay? Y'all can see that. So when we're looking at the real numbers, we see that it's 2, 4, 8, 7. I hope you all can see 7. 7, 5, 1, 2, 4, 8. So we see a pattern here. All right? We see, I'll erase this. Because this might be confusing for everybody. All right, so we see this pattern: 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1, and it comes back again: 2, 4, 8, and as we keep doubling the numbers, it will come back: 2, 4, 7, 8, 5, 1. That's the pattern that we see. It repeats itself. That's what we see in vortex-based mathematics, that there's a pattern that repeats itself every time. So this pattern pops out anywhere. This pattern applies to everything, to the whole universe. This is literally it. This is literally it. So everything in creation of life, it doubles and it follows this pattern: 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. But hold on. What about 3? What about 3, 6, and 9? Those numbers, they don't pop out. They're left out in the creation of life. So we have this pattern. Let me erase it. So we have this pattern. All right. So we have this pattern. Now we have 3. What about 3, 6, and 9? Okay. So now we got to apply the same law, the doubling, to the numbers. Okay, so we do 3, that will be 6. We take it here, 6 plus 6 will be 12. We take 12, it will be 24. 24 plus 24 equals 48. You know, as we keep doing this, we see a pattern. We started off from 3, right? We doubled it up, we went to 6. Now, if we double 6, it goes to 12, but in reality, 12 is 3. That's the real number. The next number will be 24, which is 2 plus 4, which equals 6. That's the real number. We keep going. 4 plus 8 equals what? 12, right? But in reality, 12 equals 3. So we see these two numbers pop out. 3, 6, 3, 6, 3. And the next number is going to be 6. Why? Because let's do it. 48 plus 48 will equal to what? 96, right? What's 9 plus 6? That will equal to 6. Why? Because 9 plus 6 equals 15, and in reality, 1 plus 5 equals 6. That's the real number, okay? I lost you there. It was supposed to be 15, and then from 15 to 6. My bad. All right. I don't want to lose anybody here. But yeah. Anyways. 3 and 6. It keeps repeating itself. 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6. Forever. Now, what the hell? What the hell? That's like trippy. So, I hope you all get that. So as we keep doubling, there's a pattern. There is 3 and 6. That's a pattern. Okay? Now what about 9? We do 9, that'll be 18. 18 plus 18 will equal what? 36. 36 plus 36 equals 72. 72 plus 72 equals what? 144. Each of them, we started off with 9. 1 plus 8 equals 9. That's the real number. 3 plus 6 equals 9. 7 plus 2 equals 9. 144 equals 9. So 9 is by itself. 9 is unbreakable. 9 is everything. Okay, so, but this doesn't also apply to just the law of doubling. What I mean is this. What I mean is this. This pattern, and this pattern, they all connect. But these two patterns, which is just, in reality is one pattern, which is this, they represent the non-physical. Why? Because if we see that in example in real life with electricity, there's a coil. The coil is, has 3 wires basically. When you produce electricity or whatever, based on a generator, let's say for example, it uses 3 wires. Those 3 wires are they come from the ether. Okay, this pattern just basically equals non-physical, and this pattern is the physical. Everything that we see, the Fibonacci, the golden ratio, the sacred geometry, all of that is the physical. It's us, nature. That's nature. Okay, so this sequence and this one is non-physical, right? So, and I just want to let everyone know that when you apply the numbers 3, 6, and 9 into all the functions, for example, multiplication series, if we do the multiplication series, we could see the patterns and how everything's interconnected. But yeah, that's the basics that I really want to tell everyone, that there's these patterns, the pattern of the physical and the pattern of the non-physical. That's all. Oh, there it is. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna get to. Oh, and you know, hold on, I forgot to tell you one more thing. What's the opposite of doubling? Doubling. Is duplicating, right? So the opposite of doubling is halving. Halving, okay? So let's see it this way. Halving, let's try it. We start with 1. What's half of 1? Half of 1 is 0.5. Half of, in reality, 0.5 equals 5. That's the real number. So what's half of 0.5? Let's take this number again and half it. What's half of 0.5? That'll be 0.025. And how much is 0.025? 2 plus 5 equals 7. There you go. That's the same thing, 5, 7. Now if we keep going down, we can see that it comes back to these numbers. Look, if we start from 1, we started off from 1, it went to 5. And then it went to 7. If we keep halving, if we have half of what? Half of 0.25, that's what? 0.00 fucking, it's a number, but all of that will equal to 8. That will equal to 8. Why? Because it's we're trying to reduce everything to a single digits. So it's the same pattern, 1, 5, 7, 8. If we do it in reverse, halving is just basically reverse. Doubling is just basically forward. If you double, it's forward. Halving is reverse. Okay, that's one thing that I want to let everyone to understand. Thank you. All right, peace family, peace reflections. So in this part, I will explain to you guys why I say 9 is the number of the universe. And you know, and how is everything connected within the patterns of the, you know, the non-physical pattern and the physical pattern. So let's get right into it. Let me zoom in to the camera, close to the board, and let's do it. All right, so remember, we got to remember that all the real numbers of the universe is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, okay? So, and we also got to remember the patterns. One of them, which is the physical pattern, is 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. That is the pattern, all right, of the physical world. If we see that, everything, because of the law of the doubling, if we do the opposite of the doubling, there's halving, but you know. So the other pattern is the non-one, the non-physical. And that is 3 and 6. And at the same time, 9 also is non-physical. So we gotta remember that the let me quickly turn off the phone just in case. All right, so so yeah, once we have these patterns, now that we understand these patterns, this is what I want to explain. If you apply the number 9 in the multiplication series, or in a division series, or even in all 4 functions, 9, it always comes back to number 9. So 9 equals God, pretty much. Okay, but one thing that we gotta remember, before I go on, damn, this is what I forgot to tell you guys. Before I go on, we gotta understand one thing. Let me zoom out. When we're talking about God, we understand that God is a form of it's a combination of duality. For example, of both opposites. For example, the good and evil, the devil and good, goodness and, you know, the dark, light and dark, or, you know, that combines to make one entity, God. Another example would be masculine and feminine energy. That will make God. It's kind of like two opposites, the left and right. Also positive and negative, or you know, it is two forces that combines to make God. So when I say that God, number 9 is God, there are two forces which combines, which makes 9. And here are the numbers anyways. So let's go back to the board. All right, so yeah, this is what I wanted to explain. 3 and 6 represents the duality. For example, 3, like I said, 3 can be masculine energy, and 6 can be feminine energy. Damn, I lost my chain of thought right there, my bad. So 9, or God, the highest entity, is controlling 3 and 6. And that's like, we got to remember that these 3 numbers still, is still in the higher world, because us, or the, you know, ourselves, or you know, our physical reality is governed by these 6 numbers, which is 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. But here's what we got to also remember, that each entity, which is 3 and 6, they also governed the reality. Both of them govern the reality. So 3 governs 3 numbers and 6 governs 3 numbers. 3 governs the closest number, if we can see right here. Okay, first of all, let's circle 3, 6. This is a non-physical. Everything else is a physical. And we see right here that 3 is basically closest to these physical numbers. And 6 is closest to these numbers. 9, leave it alone, pretty much, because 9 represents all numbers. I'll do green because God is always green. So yeah, 1 governs 1, 2, and 4, and 6 governs 5, 7, and 8. Now, why do I come up to that conclusion? Okay, I'll show you right now in the math, but basically the concept of this is that there's 2 forces that is being controlled by a higher entity, and these 2 forces, which creates positive duality, a world of duality, which is probably, this represents the 4th dimension or the 5th dimension. I'm still not sure, but pretty much we know that these 2 numbers control the reality, which is us right here. This is the physical world, which is right here. So yeah, how are they connected? All right, so let me show you guys. How did I come up with that? Okay, now if we apply the same laws to the sequence, you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's first analyze the physical pattern. Okay, so now we'll be working on the physical pattern first. So let's focus on let's start off with number 1. Or 2. Let's start off with number 2, I'm sorry. So let's start off with number 2. So 2, you start adding 2 plus 4, that would equal to 6, right? Now we take the same number, which is 4, and add it to the next number, which is 8, which is right here. Okay, and that will equal to 12. But in reality, we all know that 12 would equals to 3. Okay, now let's apply it again. Now let's take the next number, which is 8. Well, let's take 8 and then add it to the next number, which is 7. Now that will equal to 15. And we know that 15 equals 6. Now let's do the same thing. Let's take number 7 and add it to the next number, which is 5. And that would equal to 12. And we all know that 12 equals 3. So let's do the same thing, and we'll see that there's a pattern within the physical pattern. So 5 plus the next number, which is 1, equals 6. Now we do the same, 1 plus, and take it to the next number, which is back to 2, because remember, this pattern always repeats itself. So So 1 plus 2, that would equals to 3. You see the pattern here now? So right here, when we analyzing a physical pattern, we see that the physical pattern is being governed by 3 and 6. And here it is. 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3. 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6. So 6 and 3 is governing, is controlling the physical pattern numbers. Okay? Hope y'all can see that, or, you know, let me see. Can you all see that? Okay. Dang. So now let's go on, and I don't want to make this video too long either. So so now we know that 3 and 6 governs the physical pattern, but as we can, if we analyze 3 and 6, that will always equals to 9, and then we take 6, that would take added to the next number, that will equals 9. So 9 obviously is controlling 3 and 6. All right. So obviously it's controlling 3 and 6, and we know that 9 equals to anything. Okay, equals to anything. As you go on more with the process. So this is what I'm concluding right now. 2, 4, 8. No, that looks like a 9. And right here will be 7, 5, 8. Okay? I'm concluding that 9, we have a higher world. There's like a, okay, in our reality, there's no such thing as duality. Duality cannot exist without a higher entity. So what I'm concluding is that there is a higher entity. There is a higher entity that governs everything. There's an entity that governs pretty much other gods. And other gods can be the 3 and 6, masculine and feminine, the god and goddess. Because these god and goddess exist in the non-physical world. Okay? And we've got to remember that these god and goddess is being governed by a root source energy. You know, if we look at it in the we see this in real life in so many ways. With electricity, the coil, the generator, is being governed by three wires. For example, let me give you this example and then I'll end it. So we have a generator. A generator is governed by 3 wires. By 3 wires. And each wire, there's 2 circuits that represents the 3 and 6. And the other one is like a non-one. That one's a coil for the earth or whatever. That's the earth's frequency. That's right here. However, there's an energy that's being emitted from the 2 circuits to the 3rd wire. And that energy pops in from ether, which comes from right here, which comes from 9, which is a higher entity. So, but that was just an example from a coil, or, you know, if you don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, yeah, 9 is God. There's no such thing as 12 or 9 or 11 or 10 or 13. I don't know, 13. Well, 13 equals 4. So, I'm not so sure. Anyways, hope you all enjoy. Let me know if you have any like questions or something to add up, you know. Also, I'm working more on this vortex-based mathematics, and you know, but I have more things to focus on as well as time goes ahead, because I found something new, and you know, I'm always constantly changing and growing. Anyways, I love my self-reflections. I love myself.